Why is it that the smartest people in the room are usually the saddest? There is a noise. It is not outside. The room you are in is silent. The world has gone to sleep, but you are awake. There is a hum in the center of your skull, a static frequency that never quite fades into the background. It is the sound of a machine that does not know how to turn off, while others drift easily into the surrender of sleep. You are lying there. You are dissecting a conversation you had 3 years ago, analyzing the micro expressions on a friend's face. You are simulating a catastrophe that has not happened yet, calculating the probability of ruin. You are dismantling the architecture of your own life, brick by brick, looking for the structural flaw. You have been told your whole life that you are smart. They meant it as a compliment, but you know the truth. You know that high consciousness is not a gift. It is a burden. It is a tax you pay for being the one who sees the wires behind the puppet show. Let us strip away the vanity. Let us look at the raw biology of your suffering. Why does it hurt to be you? This is not a poetic question. It is a neurological one. To understand your pain, you must understand a concept called latent inhibition. Your brain is designed to be a filter. For the average person, the brain ignores 99% of the data it receives. It ignores the humming of the fridge. It ignores the texture of the shirt on their back. It ignores the subtle shift in a person's tone. This filtering allows them to function. It allows them to be happy because they are oblivious. But you have low latent inhibition. Your filter is broken. You let everything in. You see the detail everyone else misses. You hear the subtext everyone else ignores. You feel the energy everyone else is numb to. This makes you brilliant. It allows you to see connections that do not exist yet. But it also makes you raw. You are walking through the world without skin. Every interaction is high bandwidth. Every day is a sensory overload. You are tired not because you did physical labor, but because your processor is running at 100% capacity, 24 hours a day. Neuroscience calls this the default mode network. For the average person, this network quiets down when they focus on a task. But for the deep thinker, the network is hyper-connected. It is a radar system constantly scanning the horizon for threats. But in the modern world, there are no saber-toothed tigers, so your mind creates them. It turns an email into a crisis. It turns a subtle change in a friend's tone into a declaration of war. It turns the concept of the future into a graveyard of potential failures. The human brain makes up to % of the body's weight, yet it consumes 20% of the body's energy. But for you, the metabolic cost is higher. You are burning glucose to solve problems that do not exist yet. You are exhausted because you are fighting a war inside your own skull. This biological difference creates a social chasm. You feel it at parties. You feel it at the dinner table. You feel like an alien anthropologist sent to study a primitive species. You watch people engage in small talk. They talk about the weather. They talk about the game. They repeat scripts they heard on the television. And you are baffled. You want to grab them by the shoulders and ask, do you not feel the weight of existence? Do you not wonder why we are here? Do you not see the tragedy of time? But you do not say this, because you learned a long time ago that truth scares people. You learned the story of Cassandra, the Greek prophetess who could see the future, but was cursed so that no one would believe her. She saw the fire coming. She screamed the warning. So you learned the art of the mask. You learned to dim your light so you do not blind them. You nod, you smile, you mimic their laughter. But this performance is draining. It is a form of lying. And the loneliness you feel is not the absence of people. It is the absence of resonance. You are a whale trying to communicate with goldfish. The frequency is just different. Plato described your life 2,000 years ago in the allegory of the cave. Most of humanity lives in a dark cave, chained to the wall, watching shadows dance on the stone. They believe the shadows are real. They are content with the illusion. But you broke the chains. You walked out of the cave. You saw the sun. You saw reality in all its blinding, terrifying complexity. And the pain comes when you try to go back down. When you return to the cave and try to tell your friends, look, the shadows are fake. There is a whole world out there. They do not thank you. They do not embrace you. They hate you. You are disturbing their sleep. You are threatening their comfortable delusion. This is why you feel isolated. To wake up is to leave the herd. And the herd is warm. The herd is safe. Outside in the cold air of reality, it is lonely. But why can't you just be happy? Why can't you just let it go? Because of the cruelest paradox in psychology known as depressive realism. In 1979, scientists ran an experiment. They asked people to control a light with a button. The button did almost nothing. It was random. The happy people, the optimists, they hallucinated control. They believed they were driving the outcome. They were delusional, but they were happy. The depressed people, the deep thinkers, they were the only ones who accurately understood they had no control. They saw the mechanics of the experiment perfectly, and that accuracy made them miserable. This is your cross to bear. You are not broken. You are simply unsedated. You lack the delusional shield that protects the rest of the species from the horror of entropy. Arthur Schopenhauer called it the vulgarity of existence. He realized that as intelligence increases, the capacity for pain increases. A rock feels no pain. A dog feels pain, but not existential dread. But you perceive the gap between what the world is and what the world could be. And that gap is where the misery lies. So what is the path forward? You cannot lobotomize yourself. You cannot go back to sleep. You must evolve. There are 3 stages to the life of a deep thinker. You must identify where you are. Stage 1 is the victim. This is where you are drowning in the noise. You are paralyzed by analysis. You feel cursed. You use your intelligence to attack yourself. You are the Cassandra screaming at the wall. Stage 2 is the hermit. This is where you pull away. You realize society is fake, so you reject it. You become the ghost. You judge the world from your ivory tower. You hoard your insights, but you are still bitter. Stage 3 is the alchemist. This is the goal. The alchemist accepts the burden. He stops trying to fix the world and starts trying to build a new one. He realizes that the noise in his head is actually raw energy. It is fuel. He stops asking, why does this hurt? And starts asking, what can I build with this pain? How do you become the alchemist? How do you stop the rot? The cure for the pain of thought is the pain of creation. Listen closely. This is the mechanism. The brain energy must go somewhere. If you do not channel it outward into the physical world, it will turn inward and eat your nervous system. It will become anxiety. It will become neurosis. You must build a bridge from the abstract to the concrete. From this moment on, you are forbidden from pondering without a physical artifact. If you have an insight, you do not just sit there and chew on it. You write it, you build it, you speak it, you turn it into matter. Marcus Aurelius, the philosopher king, did not just think about stoicism in his head while leading the Roman legions. He sat in a tent covered in the mud of Germania, and he wrote. He physically carved the words onto the page. Meditations is not a book. It is an anchor. He was grounding the lightning of his mind so it would not burn him alive. You must become an architect of reality. Do not just analyze the problem at work. Write the proposal. Do not just analyze the flaw in your relationship. Speak the difficult truth to the person's face. Do not just analyze the concept of fitness. Lift the heavy iron until your mind shuts off. The physical world is the only cure for the mental world. Action is the antidote to despair. And finally, you must reframe your loneliness. You must realize that the leader is always apart from the group. The shepherd lives differently than the sheep. He does not sleep in the flock. He stands on the hill. He watches for the wolf. He is vigilant. He is alone, but he has a purpose. Your depth is not a flaw. It is a function. Nature did not give you this mind to make you happy. Nature gave you this mind to make you useful. You are the watcher. You are the one designed to see the iceberg before the ship hits it. But if you are down in the galley, crying because the other passengers think you are too serious, you cannot do your job. Go to the bridge. Take the wheel. Look at the history of this species. Who moved us forward? Was it the happy, content, well-adjusted people who were satisfied with the status quo? No, it was the tortured, the obsessive, the ones who could not sleep because the solution was scratching at the inside of their skulls. Tesla, Newton, Michelangelo. They suffered. They were isolated. They were too much for their time. But they did not let the energy consume them. They externalized it. They forced the world to reshape itself around their vision. They realized that the pain of the mind is simply kinetic energy waiting for a direction. So here is your directive. Tonight, when the noise starts, when the static hum returns, do not reach for the distraction. Do not reach for the phone. Do not try to numb it. Sit in the chair, stare at the blank wall, and let the fire burn. Feel the anxiety. Feel the simulation. Feel the weight of the intelligence. And then, pick up the pen. Pick up the tool and give it a form. You are not a victim of your biology. You are a vessel for it. The world is broken. It is clumsy. It is asleep. It does not need you to join it in the slumber. It needs you to wake it up. The curse is only a curse if you refuse to use it. Used correctly, it is the fuel of the gods. Stop watching. Start building. We are Mind Ministry, and we are watching.